Greetings, welcome everybody. Can y'all see me? I hope so. Anyway, if you can't, let me know. If you can, let me know. I'm Naeem Najib. Welcome to Feel Good Talk Love 101. And let's talk about healing toxic relationships, as always. But I want to introduce the show a little differently today before my co host comes on, Charles Brakely. Usually we talk about who I am, who he is, what the show is for, what it's about, and what we're talking about. How about who we're talking to and with? Because that is uh, that is very important. Like, what? Why did we make the show? Why did we create it? Well, this show is for you, and if you're watching, that means you are someone who has had enough of toxic relationships. And not only have you haven't had enough, you also are willing to do what it takes in order to heal your own mind around toxic relationships. Why is this show called Feel Good Talk Love 101? Well, because Feel Good Talk is the umbrella podcast family company, and Love 101 is my personal brainchild, which represents the basic life lessons in love, hence Love 101. And to define, or rather talk a little bit more about what love, what we're, what we want to communicate is that love is a mindset and a skill set that you can learn and master. And we are here to give you the tool set in order to learn and master those skills, those life skills, from emotional management to communication skills, social skills. All these things can be improved on. You know when you're not feeling good emotionally, you're feeling down and out. You know when your communication could have been a little better, like there's miscommunication or not very clear, clarity's not there. You know when your social skills, you feel like, man, I don't feel like I'm connecting very well right now, and or you feel like give a moment for the people who want to tour the neighborhood on their dirt bikes for a moment to ride by. But yeah, we want to talk about social skills, which is different than social, let's say, your social battery. Like you just like feeling socially exhausted, which happens to all of us at some point, and even um, you're emotionally exhausted, dealing with a lot of crises and whatnot in your life, and you just need a break from crisis intervention, right? So, also, I want to say this show is for you, for us. So it's meant to be interactive. It's not meant to be me talking, the only one talking and sharing. It's for anyone who wants to share, whether you want to give us questions and comments before the show about what is on your mind to talk about when it comes to healing toxic relationships. And if you are tuned in live, I request that you share your thoughts and feedback about what you want to talk about, because that's why we're here. And I don't believe that I know everything or have the answers. I just know that I have the questions, and together we can find out what works for each of us, because we all have that ingrained truth and compass that gets us there. Just has to activate with the right questions. So we have a couple of people. We got Izzy, Isabel Baker says hello, Feel Good Talk fam. And Callie Moss says greetings. Greetings, y'all. Greetings, everybody. Thank you for joining. And I'm going to take a quick hydration break. Yeah, it's the good stuff. So Charles is normally here on the show with me. He's going to be a little later, unless you just stood me up, which is another thing, right? What do you do when someone stands you up? Do you take it personally? Is the first thing you say to them when you talk to them again, "Why you stand me up?" Or like they don't know? Or do you ask them uh, without judgment what's happened, or do you wait to hear from them? Like, what do you do? So let me go back to you right now. So you, the one listening, I said you're someone who is done with toxic relationships. You want to heal. You're also someone who's open-minded, someone who is open to another way of thinking about things and doing things and seeing things. Open to loving correction, meaning you're open to admitting if you've been wrong about how you've been doing things. Because like you've been in relationships with 10 people and it's been the same result each time. And after a while, maybe it's not all them. Maybe it's you. Maybe you have something to do with that, right? You're the common denominator in all 10 of those situations. It means if you're listening to this now, it means that you're someone who doesn't make impulsive decisions. Like you hear something, you're like, oh, that's what it is. That's what I mean. You take a moment to think, and you're not judgmental because this is a judgment-free zone. Speaking of which, Kali Ma says, ask them without judgment. Never take it personal. And why is that, Kali Ma? Why don't you take it personal? Why do you say never take it personal? I'd like to get into that too. There's a book called The Four Agreements, which talks about not taking anything anyone does personally because it don't have nothing to do with you. Why people act and speak and behave the way they do, even if it is directed at you, it's something that's coming out of them. Actions come from thoughts, right? So thoughts create feelings, create energy, create your internal dialogue, your words, and that creates your actions. And so it always starts from you. Oh, you did read the Four Agreements. You know what I'm talking about. Callie Ma says you read the Four Agreements. So thank you for sharing that. So I'm still talking about you, the listener, the watcher, the audience, the participating Feel Good Talk community here. You are people who want to join in community-based solutions and conversations around the topics that affect us all, like money, relationships, real estate, because there's other shows on this Feel Good Talk podcast. It's just the one about relationships. And you're also someone who's invested in self-love, which commonly be the term self-love, right? It's just talking about personal care for yourself and being in tune with yourself to realize what you need in order to care for yourself. You're someone who's not so big on being codependent, taking responsibility for your own life and your own feelings, emotional responsibility is very important. And if I'm right, let me know. If I'm wrong, let me know, because I'm speaking to. This is the reason why I created this podcast. These are the people I wanted to form a connection in a community with, the people who are these kind of people, and the kind of podcast that I would want to be invited to listen to or to join and talk, because it's not just about me, right? One person doesn't know everything. Everybody doesn't know everything. You don't even know everything about yourself. It's always a learning and growing process. But most of all, this is a space for critical thinking, not just, so you are a critical thinker. You are people who do not just take what you've been told and go with that and say, well, this is the way relationships go. This is the relationship escalator. This is how I should respond to jealousy. This is how, this is what a friend is. This is what a acquaintance is. This is what a lover is. This is what I've been told, and that's what it is. It's like, no, you're someone who realizes your own personal autonomy to make decisions for yourself as to what your relationships mean to you, what the people in your life mean to you, and what you mean to them. Someone who wants to create personal, not just personal, but intentional relationships and connections, purposeful relationships and connections. So there's Callie Ma says they have their own internal dynamics. When I asked, why don't you take it personally? You're right. They do. She said when I was a teenager, it was hard leveling off and pushing your life into alignment. Izzy says, hello, Callie Ma. Thanks for tuning in. I think Chuck's in the background, so whenever you're ready, please jump in here. And says, Kalima, it's hard to really love unconditionally. Can you speak more on that? What does it mean to love unconditionally? To really love unconditionally? Like, what does that mean? How does that look? What is love, right? How's that there's a great online course offered by Love 101, believe it or not, that's called What is Love? And it's basically a bunch of questions about what is it? What does it mean? What is it not? And it's offered for free on a magical site called HealingToxicRelationships.com. Who would have thought? Would have thunk it? A site and a place totally devoted to healing toxic relationships, and that it would be called HealingToxicRelationships.com. It's also a great book I read and heard about called Healing Toxic Relationships 101. It's also a course, online course, which also there's recordings of it on that same site. I wonder who will take up the resources and use them. Anyhow, that's who you people are here on the Feel Good Talk family. You are the people who use the resources that are available to you and don't believe that if you haven't had the results you want up to this point, doing what you have been doing, then maybe there's another way. Chuck
What's
B.
up, Dwayne? What's going on, brother? Hey, man. Sorry I'm late, man. Got caught up in some traffic and stuff. So thanks for holding it down, brother, as always. You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. I was taking bets on if you were gonna stand me up or not. So
Nah,
I
I
might
never
have
have, man. Like I said, if it's if I can control the situation, I'm here. If not, then it is what it is, and I know you're gonna hold it down anyway. So appreciate you.
well, appreciate you too, but I did lose some money because I was betting that you wasn't gonna come. So.
Don't never bet against me. Always bet with me.
Good point. Good principle. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Just busy. Busy is a good thing. So just trying to maintain and keep my head above water. Keep my head above water.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, everything's good, man. I can't complain. So
Okay, awesome. All right.
see
Well,
in the building and everybody talking out there. We definitely appreciate it. So
yes, we were
yep.
just talking about who the people listening are, because we always talk about who we are, what the show is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to explain who the show is for, and it's
Right.
for us first of all. I guess for me, I'm someone who always was looking for a different kind of answer to questions that wasn't just the common answer. Like we talked about, oh, love hurts, love is different for every single person, love this and that, it's confusing and blah blah blah, but something consistent and principled, and that a child could understand, right? If it's like when you point to a thing and a child is like, so what's that? And you're like, oh, that's a marker, that's a Sharpie. And what's it for? It's to write. It's simple. But then when you're like, what's that? Talking about love, you're like, oh yeah, it's something that that your mommy and daddy have for you, that they love you. And oh, okay, so but how come, I'm just making an example here, how come mommy and daddy say they love each other and then they are fighting? Does that mean love is fighting too? It's like, oh no, only sometimes, you fight the people you love. And but you just said that you love me and that you care for me, so it means you're gonna fight me soon. It's like, no, it's different for you, because we're not gonna fight you, we just fight each other sometimes. Like, so mommies and daddies who love each other is supposed to fight, so that means maybe y'all shouldn't love each other, because I don't like it when you fight. Like, oh no, you should love each other, but sometimes you just also have a little bit of hate and a little bit of fear and attack for people that you love. That people you love the most can hurt you the most. Like, well, what? So that means you're gonna hurt me? Like, no, not you. I'm just saying. You see how confusing it can get?
Very confusing.
Especially for a child.
Confusing as an adult. So for kids to see that, it's even worse. 10 times worse. Like, I don't understand what you're saying. And the thing is, the kids' minds are just so pure that they can see the situation and understand right away, where we're we're so much in toxic situations that we think that's normal. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I'm glad that you came up with the concept, and I love it. Like I told you before, it makes it very simple and plain. Elementary students can listen to, anybody can listen, just look at your work and understand exactly what you're talking about. I think it should be put in schools more so too. You know what I mean, Naeem? Because you know, I
Yes.
think that would be definitely healthy so people understand what love is. So
And speaking of which, I'm gonna pull up one of the basic fundamental tools we use for teaching it now, which is the facts, FACTS of love. And well, healthy and toxic relationships, you can call it love and fear,
mhm.
or healthy relationships and toxic relationships, because love is a loving relationship is a healthy relationship. A
Right.
fear-based relationship is a toxic relationship. So
Mhm.
if you just look at you say, oh, what's the facts? People are like, oh, facts, facts, yeah, facts this, facts that. So what are the facts though? The facts of a healthy relationship are what? Please take it away, Chuck, because you
Oh,
got
freedom, appreciation, communication, trust, and okay. Okay, let's do it. Let's start over. Freedom, appreciation, communication, compassion, clarity, trust, truth, sincerity, surety, and security.
right. And so saying surety and security, because we always talk about insecurity, right? But you don't talk about the opposite. So insecurity is obviously not a desirable characteristic. But
Right.
what about security? What is that?
Mhm.
Security makes you feel what? Safe. So another S word is safe,
Mhm.
that we don't have here, but you get it. And
Mhm.
then on the other side, the toxic, the stuff we all familiar with, right,
Yes,
is
indeed.
fear, being afraid, force, meaning that pressure, that being compelled to do something like, man, they got me $150 gift. Now I got to get them $150, at least a $200 gift for their
Mhm.
birthday. Man, I don't feel like putting out that much money for this person,
Mhm.
but they went and did that for me. So I got to do that's force. That's
Mhm.
not love. Because if you think your relationship is based on measuring off gifts, before before you to still have a good connection with them, then your relationship is not sound. It's not secure, like we were talking about.
Mhm.
Meaning, because then if you get them a $500 gift, they might still feel they're like, oh, now I feel insecure because now I got to get you a $600 gift, and I don't even like you that much, you know.
Yeah, it goes on and on. Next thing you know,
Right.
you're spending thousands of dollars, you know, so
And we do this, right? We do this with and it's not fair to a human being, looking at someone as a human being, not as a source of resources or money, or
Mhm.
this is just somebody who I know will laugh at my jokes, or who will give me company, or I can cry on their shoulder or complain to when I need to, or I'm just going to go and get some food from them because I know they're always cooking. That's not what people are for. That is a part of being in relationships with some people, as long as it's understood and if it's loving, if it's consensual. Even transactional relationships can be loving when
Mhm.
you have understanding, you have clarity, right? To see the clarity. I
Mhm.
know I'm going to Feel Good Talk store front, and I'm getting a hat, and I'm giving Charles $20.
That's right, that's right.
Then I'm then that's understanding, that's loving. But if I'm saying, "Oh, Chuck, I know you got the store. I know y'all close at 5 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. We boys. Let me get one of them hats. I know you. I think I look good in that red hat. I see you got one right there. Let me get that real quick."
Right.
And but if that's your friend, and it costs them money to make it, they got a store, they selling it, why would you not buy two hats and give one away just
Mm,
because you
right.
supporting your friend?
That's right.
You don't need two hats, but no,
Mhm.
you want to get a hat for free. You want
Mhm.
to get a hat for a discount. You want to take and not give you. Oh, and I'm supporting you though because I'm wearing your hat. Like, yeah,
Right.
but I
Mm,
if that's the case, if you wanted promotion, you can pay people to promote it for you,
right.
right? Because
Yep, yep.
promotional services is an actual valuable service. So I said, you know what, Naeem, Chuck is like, Naeem, I see you always going to these events and with these investors and stuff. Here's my hat. If you would just wear it in one of those events one time when you're talking to some of them, maybe
Right,
talk
right.
to them 30 seconds about it, then yeah, I'm gonna give you the hat for free to
Mhm.
do that for me. And now it's still a valuable exchange, not just, yeah, I'm gonna just because I like the hat, I'm gonna take it because
Mhm.
I'm supporting you. That's
Mm,
backward thinking, and that's
right.
not support.
That's
That's
true.
thievery in the form of friendship.
Mhm.
Any, anyway, moving on down the line for toxic relationships, you got fear, force, attack, abuse, anger. There's so many kinds of abuse.
Yeah.
Y'all know the basic ones:
Mm,
physical, sexual, financial. there's so many kinds. We talk about that at healingtoxicrelationships.com, and the book Healing Toxic Relationships 101. See, there's some consistency here. Healingtoxicrelationships.com, like you find it. You got conflict, confusion, control going on when the relationship is toxic. There's no clarity. There's no communication. There's always confusion. Somebody trying to control somebody else. There's trauma and trigger. I mean, we always have traumas and we all have triggers. But in a toxic relationship, the trauma doesn't get healed. It compounds. And the triggers don't get health. It's not that you don't get triggered in a healthy relationship. It's that it's not safe for you or the other person when you get triggered, because it's so explosive and potentially violent and incendiary that it could make things worse. Everybody's gonna get triggered. I mean, if you were bit by a dog at one point and someone that you have a relationship with has a dog, you may be triggered around the dog, but it doesn't mean that you're not safe.
Right.
So that's the other thing. You have to, because part of compassion, empathy, and understanding is knowing that, yeah, this person, they have an issue around this situation or around dogs or whatnot, and they prefer, if we're together, that the dog be in another room. And maybe if they're willing to address it, then they say, okay, I'm willing to have the dog in the room, but keep him over there. Or I'm willing to be in the room with the dog, just have him on a leash. I'm slowly trying to adjust because I'm working on this and I feel safe, but I don't feel safe to touch the dog yet. And then maybe one day they will, right? So it's communication. Now, also, we got separation, suspicion, and shame. There's always the goal of a toxic mindset is always to cause separation. And it's funny, people, they glamorize this whole idea of having like these fights and then this makeup sex and all this stuff as like this glamorous thing, but it's like that's not healthy. Like angry sex, makeup sex, or angry anything. It's not making anything up. It's just a very high volatile energy exchange, and you're riding off of the heightened energy like an adrenaline junkie, not that it's actually healing. So let's remember that. We let's go back to what Callie Miles says. She has a lot of comments here. I want to go back to
something happened to my okay, here I am. Good. I lost my place. Okay. Let's get back. Now I gotta find out where she left off at, because remember I came in late. So
she said something about a teenager, and then Izzy said something, and then okay, here we go. To accept everything about a person, just gotta understand, should you live near or far? And
she also says, I look at those healing I look at those healing a toxic relationship. Look at those as healing a toxic relationship. There you go.
Okay. And
I will look at those.
Is that, you mean the site Healing Toxic Relationship, the book? Yeah, look at it, check it out. I'm pretty good with outside relationships. It's the most intimate ones that I struggle with. Yeah, intimate ones like relatives, like what do you call them? Romantic relationships, all that. Those are the ones that cause the most triggers and can be the most volatile, potentially, because you're so in such close proximity. And the first thing you have to know yourself in order to relate to others enables you to communicate clearly. How about that?
That's awesome.
I think learning respect, speaking truth, and again allowing people to be their authentic self. And people need to be comfortable with themselves first. Yes. K for his choices. Send the link for me to join, please. Greetings, Feel Good Talk family, positive vibrations. Thank you, HT.
What's up, HT? Thanks for tuning in. Still on vacation. Go ahead.
Do you want? I can send her the link if you.
I sent it already, Naeem. I sent it.
Okay, never mind. All right.
And Callie Moss says, it's difficult to choose to be with someone that is now starting their healing journey. That's true.
That's a good point. It's like you're in graduate school and they're in preschool. It's not easy. Because you've learned those lessons already, right? You're writing papers and they're learning how to read and write. That's it's hard sometimes, right?
Mhm.
And it's like it again comes to where and how you want to connect with them. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to join your lives together, because that's going to be, it's going to take a toll on a relationship. Just for the fact that if you're seeking to have a healthy relationship and someone has not received the
Mm.
truth about the basic principles of healthy relationships, which, number one, let's start with emotional responsibility,
Right.
meaning you can't control everything in your life. Like Charles said earlier, like what I can control, I control. Some things you can't control. Like you're in a car accident, somebody attacks you, mugs you, like you can't control everything that happens, but you can control how you look at it later on down the line, how you heal from it, how you choose to see yourself as a victim or as someone who is a survivor, or not just that, someone who's thriving, someone who's getting stronger every day in every way. You get to choose that. But if you're with someone who's still in a victim mindset, a lack mindset, a mindset that somebody or the world owes them something,
Right.
that
Right.
they're gonna they're not gonna get past this thing until they get an apology from their ex or
Mhm.
whatever it is, then if you've had those lessons and gotten past there already, then that's not going to be an easy road to walk down. Not that it's ever necessarily easy, but it's like you both were in an accident where you had to lost ability to lose your legs. You going through physical therapy, and
Mm.
you're walking and jogging, training for a marathon, and this person's still in the wheelchair or
Right.
still on the walker.
Mhm.
It's not going to be, or still in the bed, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be the one pushing the wheelchair, or having, with the walker, trying to push them along and whatnot. And it's like some of these things, even if you have somebody cheering you on, like a personal trainer, you're still the one that has to lift the weights.
Right. Right.
You're
Mhm.
still the one that has to do the work.
Mhm.
So some people want a emotional trainer as a relationship partner. It's like, man, I'm gonna just keep talking about the past and my ex and how this happened to me 20
Mhm.
years ago. And then, like, yeah, but we're here now. Like, yeah, but I just, like, isn't that what therapy is for? Isn't that what a psychologist is for? If that's not, like, pay me if that's the case, right?
Well,
If you're
you
not
for that therapy, Naeem. Would be,
gonna, like,
you
pay
know,
me if
right.
that's the case. You can't just be this one-sided situation. One person is taking all the emotional dumping, and the other person dumping on, and the other person doing all the dumping. We used
Right.
a very explicit example the other week where it's like, when you go in the bathroom and do your business, that's your private business. You flush the toilet, get rid of it. Now, some people want you to come in there, hold their hand, and talk to you about everything they ate while they're taking a dump. And you got to sit there and smell that. And it's
Right.
like, how is that helping?
Right.
Like, it's not.
Right.
It's only massaging your weak ego and your sense of insecurity and fear of abandonment, that if I'm not here with you during this, that you can't get through it yourself, or that it means something that someone's here with you through that. It can be helpful, but again, it has to be a choice that's offered, and
Mhm.
it's always the choice that you can choose. Like, no, I don't want to listen to another one of you talking about your boss again
Right.
today.
Right.
Listen to it for the last 8 days. Today, it's like, look, either quit or stop complaining, right? Choose
Exactly.
another job, but stop complaining about it, or stop complaining to me about it. Find somebody
Yeah.
else.
HC Lovejoy says it perfectly. She says, "I didn't come into a relationship to be a therapist." Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, we got that. We got a Callie Ma. She says, "Yup." She's laughing there. She also says it takes a strong person. This is from the previous conversations we had. She also says, you gotta decide if you're going to spend that energy. That's true.
Mhm.
Because I'm telling you, I ain't got time for all that. That's too much. And she also says, my experience so far, it's okay for me as long as they are okay when they are made aware of their behaviors.
Okay. Thank you, Kalima.
Appreciate that.
Thank you very much for the feedback.
Yes, indeed.
We want that. We appreciate that.
Callie Ma's on fire, man. She's really talking. Hey, Callie, if you ever want to come on, let us know. You definitely can come on. We definitely would love to have you. So let's
Yeah. We'll
anybody out there want to come on live with us, let us know. Come on. The more the merrier.
Yep.
Let's go.
Well, what happened to K for Toys? She didn't join yet?
I guess K, yeah, K for I don't know what happened. I sent her the link, so I don't know what happened. So hopefully
Oh, okay.
soon. What's going on out there? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate that. So yeah, good conversation, Naeem. But like you said, man, those type of relationships are very draining. And I get tired of you get tired of that, man, constantly. We got Aunt Deb. She says hello, everyone. Aunt Debbie is here. Thanks for tuning in, Aunt Debbie. We appreciate you. Kali Ma says, let me know. You let us know, Callie. We here every Wednesday. Let us know. She also says, I'm with it, no doubt. So you definitely come anytime you want. Just let us know. We'll drop your link and let you come on through. So if you have a link, you can send that to us, and we'll go ahead and set you up maybe for next week. I mean, I don't know. We got time now, Naeem. It's only been in 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, we got time. She wants to join now.
If you want to join now, Callie, send that link, send your email, and I'll get you on right quick. I might still have it because you came on previously before. So we'll see what we got there. And anybody else out there that want to come on live, let us know. We'll get you right in. Not a problem at all. All right, we got Kim. She's in the back. Ready, Kim, to come on? Raise your hand if you're sure. There you go.
Hello.
What's going on with you?
Woo! I was trying to make it on time, but y'all know with this job and all that, I never get off work on time. What's up, Naeem? Hi, Chuck. How y'all doing?
I'm liking the fans. Is it that hot? I mean, it's nice outside. I love the heat. So
those are fans. Wow. Okay.
It's a fan. See, when you become a certain age, I
hear you.
You start having your own private summers. You need help. So that's where I'm at today.
You got Kali Ma. She says, I'm in the car. And she says, driving on. How are you typing, Kali Ma? You better keep your hand on that steering wheel because
you're on the highway.
I'm driving on the highway.
I know, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of dangerous.
On the highway.
Not Debbie, and she says, I need that fan. I hear you, Izzy. Yep. So yeah, so everything's cool. How you doing today, Kim? What's going on? Talk to us.
Oh, I'm good. Just listen, I have had a day, so I had to come home and grab me a cup and take me a couple little sips.
And that's a cup of tea.
Water, mind you, but had a couple sips.
I hear that. It's very nice out there today, so.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so y'all know I always come with a story.
Go ahead. You got something for us today? Talk to us.
Yep, I have a story. Okay, so my coworker, her and her husband is from Oklahoma, and he was working as my assistant from November until February.
Okay.
And I got a call from my boss like on a Sunday night and said he was not going to be there because he had a family emergency. So he had to go back to Oklahoma. So I said, okay. So I'm like, okay, so when is he returning? No one knows. He has not returned home to his wife or to his job. So needless to say, I had to terminate him because I haven't heard anything. So, before that, they had just got an apartment. So I love plants. So, I was like, okay, let me go and give them just something. So I gave them a plant. Okay. So when I went out to the dumpster 2 days ago, why did I see my plant in the dumpster? Okay. So, I see her at work all the time, and I'm like, should I say something to her or shouldn't I? So I said, it's nothing for me to say because obviously she didn't want it or she wouldn't have put it in the dumpster. But it's a plant. It's alive and breathing and all of that. But so I had said to my husband, I was like, that was kind of cold. So he said, well, you know what? Maybe she's trying to get rid of everything that reminds her of her husband.
Right.
Because this is not the first time he up and left. So he up and left again. So I mean, I don't know. But that kind of stung me a little bit. I was like, wow, if you didn't want it, just say you don't want it. But she took it and she was like, oh, thank you so much. But then I found it in a dumpster a week later. Why?
Well, it was for her husband. Am I correct?
Well, they just got an apartment. So it was just, a housewarming gift. Just, I love plants. So, plants are good for the air and all of that. So it was just a suggestion, just something that I did for them. No particular reason, but I guess she didn't want it. I don't know.
You missed the part of the show where we were talking about not taking stuff personally, Kim, because it don't have nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
Well,
that's why I brought it up, because I knew you would straighten me out, Nye.
It's like it don't have nothing to do with you. It's like that plant didn't do nothing to nobody. It was actually helping everybody. We need the air to be purified. But again, you ever when people go through this whole breakup ritual of, oh, I'm gonna get rid of your clothes, the pictures, I'm gonna delete the this, the that, and it's a physical expression of a mental condition, which is the way that I'm seeing you. People would cut the picture of the person, like we used to have paper photos and they would cut the picture out. Now we just delete it or blur their face out or just trim back the part. All of that is a physical manifestation of the mental distress that they're going through when they think of that person, right? Because when you look at a person and you think of them in let's say you had a painful breakup, you were whatever, there was a lot of emotional pain and drama, whatever. Now that person, their face, their number, their stuff will remind you of that pain, and it is a normal human reaction to move away from pain, move toward pleasure. So whether that pain is physical, emotional, financial, that's what a sale is. It's like, oh, 2-for-1 sale. That because the prices today, especially with inflation, that hurts financially. So I'm not getting this thing until it's on sale. That's a little more pleasure. It's not personal. Imagine if the stuff that were not on sale, the products, imagine if they had feelings. They're like, how come they don't want to buy me? I'm the same product, but then they want to buy it when it's on sale. Like, I'm not worth it to you. Why not? You said you want me, but now because it costs as much, you don't want me. Like, imagine the soap or the toothbrush or the letters or whatever was feeling that way. It's not personal. It's that it is actually wise, because we've learned through our human experience that things that are painful are usually not good for you and hurtful. And not that getting rid of somebody's photo or their art or their clothes or the things that remind is going to take away the pain. It takes away the things that trigger the pain. What you really need to do is to heal the pain. And that's deeper work, which you can get guidance from. Again, there's different strokes for different folks. Some people do therapy, some people do it's the main thing is to decide that, look, I'm responsible for how I feel. I'm responsible for how I see this. I could choose to see it differently. I don't know how right now. When I see this person's face, I just go crazy. And I don't want to feel that way anymore. I want to be like, oh, that person's face, that was a wonderful part, actually partly wonderful, partly painful part of my life. And now I've grown into this amazing person who I love. And I am grateful for the experience. They were a great teacher to me. And I've also learned to stop doing this in my relationships and to start doing more of that in my relationships. So I do keep a reminder of them there, because that helps me remember, like that knife they tried to stick in my bag. Like, no, you know what I mean? Like or the plant, right? it's always about purifying or healing toxic relationships, and it's not about the other person. Because if it wasn't, imagine if you were a person that was one of your triggers is not hearing from people every day that you really like talking to, and you take that personally as an act of abandonment or dismissal, or you're not important and whatever. Now, if that was your trigger, it wouldn't matter what person it was that didn't text you back or call you back that day. You would feel the same way because of that relationship, and because your inner issue is, man, I have abandonment stuff. How come they didn't text me back immediately? And blah, 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 blah. I want an explanation, and so and so. It's not about that. And the reason why they didn't text you back is not about you. And they don't need an explanation. For a secure person, they don't need to ask for an explanation. And also for a secure person would not offer an explanation if the purpose of the explanation behind why I didn't get back to you is to soothe your insecurities. Because those are ravenous fears that will never be fulfilled or never be fed. It's like a bottomless pit. It's like just dropping, it's like a bottomless pit. This is never going to be filled. So the thing you want to do is recognize that it's not even about you, and keep doing what you do. Actually, HT has a good suggestion for you right here. She says, Kim, take your plant out of the dumpster and take it back.
Oh man, I was gonna. That was the next question, and I'm pretty sure everybody wanted to know. And I was going to have 3 seconds for dramatic effect. I was going to ask you, did you take that plant out of the dumpster?
I did. I took it out of the dumpster and I put it in the kitchen,
right,
to beautify the kitchen. I did.
Oh, see,
but it's funny because I just want to see her reaction when she comes down to the kitchen and see the plant on top of the machine that I have it on. But
oh god,
listen,
I like that. Y'all gonna have a silent war every time. The plant's gonna be right there, and then every time you go, it's gonna be back in the dumpster. You're like, all right, come back, put it back. And then
so did you say anything to her? You haven't said anything to her, right, Kim? Not at all.
No, I haven't said anything to her because you know why? Listen, I'm sure she is going through enough that her husband up and left. Yeah. And this is not the first time. So my plant is something very minute in their whole dynamic.
Yep, and that's what Debbie says. Wow, it may be due to their breakup. So exactly, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, I will say this. This is the second time that I know that he left and went back home. And let me tell you something. If it was Kim, we would be in divorce court. Okay? Divorce court. Because you're not going to keep rolling out on me and leave me with the bag. I just don't roll that way.
She's allowing him to abuse her. So at the end of the day, it's her fault. She has to figure out what she wants to do.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, it depends, and I may be wrong, but they met online. Okay. 2 different cultures. Yeah. Okay. Oh. And he was great working for me. He was great. I mean, but that was just a small part of it. And he did it for 3 months, and then he's back out to Oklahoma again. I'm like, do we have somebody out in Oklahoma? Like, But it's not my concern. I just kind of feel bad for her,
What's his name? Because somebody stole my identity and they had a car out in Oklahoma. Or it was purchasing a car. I had a whole bunch of stuff out in Oklahoma. When you said Oklahoma, that just set the trigger right there.
Trigger, You'll have to talk off the air.
So I'm just saying, maybe I need to get his name, so I need to talk to him personally. So me and him need to rap.
Off the record. Yeah.
Look, I'll tell you something funny about that too. So they've been married 7 years, and I had said to him, I said, so what do you want to get your wife for Valentine's Day? Okay. And he was like, oh, well, we probably don't do too much. I was like, hold freeze. Let's stop right there. He said, well, we may do something on the weekend. I'm like, hold freeze. I said, let me tell you how women work. I said, first of all, Valentine's Day, we expect something for Valentine's Day. You know, it can be something small, but put some effort into it. And so wait, and I'm almost done now. So I went and I said to him, I said, okay, so this is what you do. Make something for her to eat, or if you want, I'll cook it. You know, I said make something for her to eat. Get some libations, get some wine, champagne, whatever. And they just moved into an apartment, so they didn't have anything. So I supplied him with wine glasses and all this stuff to try to help him set the mood. Okay, so and he's gone. I'm like, all that you got to suck in, and then you rolled out again. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Would see, Kim, you are like, you are not even an instigator. You're like an interferer. Like you are interfering with his true intentions about the relationship. Right? He said, I ain't doing nothing for Valentine's Day. You like, hold up, freeze, stop, pause, wait a minute. Let me explain something to you. And now, if let's just say his wife was on the same page as you, or she wanted something a little more than, we're not doing it, then you just extended like a situation that was already on its way out. Because she's like, oh wow, he did this thing for me because Kim said, we didn't say Kim had like the knife in her hand because you know she's a chef. She's probably like, hold freeze, excuse me, let me explain to you something about how it's supposed to go. He's like, all right, whatever you want. Godiva chocolates, whatever, I'll get it. And then he goes and gets the Godiva chocolates. His wife is like, oh my God, he's amazing. And I wanted exactly this. And now a year goes by when if you would have left it alone and he would have just been his regular self, and she's like, oh, so it's Valentine's Day. What did you get, babe? He's like, I felt like we could just drink some tap water. And then I got you this cup of tap water, honey. And she's like, oh my God, I want a divorce. See, you just messed things up, Kim.
I'm a romance consultant. I'm a romance consultant too. So I figured that was my way to help, get them like on the right.
Did he pay you for a session? Did he pay you for that session?
No, sometimes I offer free sessions.
See, what if your dentist came to you and be like, oh, I think you missing the, I'm going to come in there and put a filling in your mouth right here because you just, like, I'm going to put some braces on you. You look like you need to correct it. You got to let people ask for it, Kim.
Yeah.
He didn't want that advice.
Izzy got the right answer here. She says, expect nothing, appreciate everything. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Yes, thank you.
With you, Kim, she says he can keep it moving, keep it pushing.
Hey, that's right.
And then HT, back to the last thing about the plant. She said it has to be okay either way. You gave it in love, right? So, Callie Ma says just to clear the energy, you make you feel better. I think that was about how sometimes we get rid of people's stuff and all that. And like, it's a Band-Aid. And then, yes, Izzy saying thank you to Karen Dickerson and clear the energy away from you, make room for the next. Yeah, so thank you. Izzy said yes. Well, we got more? Izzy said, Chuck, you are funny.
That little
hey,
Ed. She's laughing there. She also says, Naeem, what you sipping on today? No water?
Oh, there's water. Y'all think I got a big bucket of wine, don't you? It's actually beet juice. Good for you.
That's good. There you go.
Use some beet root powder, put it in your water, mix it up. It's the same as beet juice. It's good nitrites. It's good for your blood flow. Right. And since we didn't run what'd you say, Chuck?
Nitric oxide.
That's right. Yeah, I said nitrous. Yeah, nitrous oxide.
You're right. Nah, you good. I know.
we didn't talk about the A game commercial today, but this basically does the same thing because it's talking about blood flow, talking about energy, vitality, talking about circulation. All parts of the body can get circulated when you have good cardiovascular health.
That's right.
Mhm.
Beet juice.
And get that A game too, fellas. Don't sleep on that.
Don't sleep on the A game.
And AC Lovejoy said he has to go home to his other family. Ooh,
Yeah,
they each get 3 months at a time.
that's what it seems like.
You may be right. That might be happening.
Yeah,
Jess, she also says he needs one of the Love Doctor books. Yes,
absolutely.
Yep, definitely. So
yeah, so he can read it to his other family at night. It's like,
yeah,
let me tell you something. Yeah, but it's again, people think that it's like, oh, they're going away for work for 3 months. Another family is work too, right? It's like, how do you define work? They work abroad.
yeah.
Oh yeah, taking care of the other family.
That's
Again,
true.
not getting on nobody, not getting on having more than one family. It's about the love. We're here to talk about love.
Mhm.
We just joking, but at the same time, you know, Kim, stop giving people unsolicited advice.
Okay.
He might not believe in Valentine's Day because I don't deal with that either. I don't celebrate that.
But he was all in though. I mean, he was like, he got all
That's
excited.
because you had a knife.
I know I did. He was all excited. He was like, oh, so what should I make? And you know, I'm giving him all this. And he came to work. Both of them came to work the next day. They were happy, happy, happy. And then I don't know what happened. I got that call Sunday night and I was not happy. So I've been working by myself for a month now. He's been going a month. And that's rough. So maybe I will stop giving advice online. He's an assistant. Yeah, and you know what? That's funny you said that because you know what? The person that worked with me prior to, she's like 23, something like that. And I started talking to her about school, you know, furthering her education and getting into a job that has, you know, some benefits and something that would be good for her. You know what I'm saying? So she left and went to school. And I was happy about that. I was sorry that I lost her because she's good, but she went to school. So all of my advice is not bad advice, Naeem. Some is good advice.
Do you see the pattern though, Kim? Everyone's leaving.
I know.
Look, I didn't say good or bad, right or wrong. I said unsolicited advice. But yeah.
All right, so look, I'm been looking for an assistant for a month now. I'm not going to give them any advice, none, and let's see how long they last.
And Izzy gives a great advice. She says, "Yes, save yourself the stress. People are going to do their own thing." So
yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's because sometimes you're giving people advice to where they don't even want to go. Like, think about it. Somebody's driving somewhere. You're like, the best place to go is the carnival. The carnival is over there. So you see somebody not going toward the carnival. You're like, look, let me explain to you. You go down to Madison, you take a right, you go straight 3 blocks, take another left, and you keep going. You see the sign, and that's how you get to the carnival. And they're like, okay, thanks. And they still go the way that they was going. You're like, why are they not going to the carnival? Everybody's supposed to go to the carnival. The carnival is where I would go. Why are they not going to the carnival? Then you get mad, like taking it personally, like they were never going to the carnival. Then you get somebody that's coming along looking like, where's the carnival? You know where it is? Like, oh, yes, I could tell you. Then you tell them how to get there, right? So that's the thing. We think that people want what our version of a healthy relationship is. And even if they do, sometimes, like Izzy said, they're going to do what they're going to do, and they got to let them work out those things. Think about how you got to where you got. You didn't get here by doing everything the right way or everything the loving way all the time.
Right.
You made mistakes. You had your boundaries crossed. You got violated. You got violated again. You got violated. Then you realized, I'm tired of getting violated. I'm going to do something different. And then you changed. You see somebody get violated 1-2 times, like, man, it only took me 2 times to change things. They might need 5-6 times.
Mhm.
And you can't accelerate that unless they themselves say, I don't want it to take 5-6 times. I want to do it. I want to get like you, Izzy, get like you, Chuck, get like you, okay? And I want to know which, and I'm just, whatever you tell me to do, I'm just going to do it without question, even if it's uncomfortable, which it's going to be, because even though our comfort zones and our patterns are hurtful, it's familiar, and human beings are more likely to do what's familiar than what's helpful.
Right.
Especially if what's familiar is what you're used to doing. It's what you found your parents doing. It's you're part of your identity. I always allow people to, room for redemption and to come back, even if they done violated everything and they took all my money and whatnot. I'm gonna give them money again. I know they never paid me back ever before, but I always am the person that lets people, do it again. So I'm gonna give them money again and again. And man, they still didn't pay me back, but if they ask me again, I'll just give them one more chance. And it's like, no, you are still giving money to somebody who's never going to pay you back. And if what you want is to be paid back, you got to make a rule. It's like, all right, I'll give you 2 times to not pay me back. Then I'm not going to give you money again. And that's just across the board for everybody. Right. Or change your rule. Be like, I'm not going to loan money anymore. I'm just going to give it away. That makes it a lot simpler. So, or I'm just not going to give anything, right? You got to do what's right for you.
Right.
But yeah. I think Chuck got disconnected, but let's see. Izzy says, yes, save yourself the stress. People gonna do their own thing, right? And or Kim, sometimes people will take your advice because they don't want to disappoint you, right? And that sounds like what happened in that situation. Okay.
Yeah.
You're back. And can you get to the other comments? Oh, knowing daggone well, we're over years ago. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
That was good
talk.
Stuff.
That was good, Izzy. That was good.
Yeah. Izzy, you gonna come on one night? Come on now, talk about love.
I know. Get Cassandra on here, somebody.
No. So, hey man, great conversation as always, Naeem. Thanks,
Yeah.
Kim, for coming on. You always bring the stories. I appreciate it. Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing it home for us, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Very relatable.
Y'all can count on me with the stories.
I love the fans. So, next time, we want one too, so we can look cool like you.
She's got 2. So we both want 2. We'll have to share.
Right. So,
but love, what is love, Naeem? Really, what is love?
Uh-oh.
Answer that question.
You asking me?
I'm asking you because think about love. Let me say this: when I love someone, I mean I love them. Okay, I'm not that person that is like, oh, I gotta see my man every day, gotta talk to him 55 times a day and all that. But when you love somebody, you want to see them, you want to present your best self to them. You know what I mean? You want to be, I'm keeping the G, sensual. You want them to desire you. You get your heart just start beating real fast and it drops into your stomach. You like,
pitter patter.
I love that man.
Lies. Go ahead.
I love him.
This sounds like you're talking about romantic attraction.
Hey, now hold on. Can I say something, Naeem, before you break it down? Then the butterflies turn into moths,
Then they turn into hornets and wasps.
Then that feeling of, I got to see my man, and your blood pressure's through the roof. I mean,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a wonderful feeling. No. It's a wonderful feeling. And I'm sure a lot more people wish that they had that feeling, that they were connected to someone that made them feel that way.
There's too much here to talk about in the last 60 seconds of the show. But there's a book called Love Is Not a Game, 183 pages. Will break it all down. By some people wrote it. I vouch for that. Find it on healingtoxicrelationships.com.
Izzy got a nice acronym here. Hold on. First, we got Aunt Debbie. She says, thank you, love doctor. And Karen says, Isabel, hey friend, great conversation. I like this acronym, Izzy. She says, my acronym for love is lift others vibes every day. I love it.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
She's a poet and don't even know it. And we got okay, that's it. I think that's it. We don't have any more. She just said told Karen yes. So all right, cool. So yeah. But go ahead now, you break it down, man. I just had to bring that up.
All right, we gonna actually do this. All right, so first of all, what you sound like you're talking about is romantic attraction and chemistry, which is common, and it is not necessarily love when we're talking about love as what we have here in terms of freedom, appreciation, communication, all that. Because you can have romantic attraction and you can also have fear. You can also have abusive relationship. You can also have conflict and someone trying to control you. You can also have trauma around it. You can also have suspicion, shame, all that. So it doesn't necessarily mean because you have those physiological feelings that it means that you love the person. You can say it's love, but just like I can say abuse and attack is just, oh, that's just the way they are. You know, that's just the way they get, right? They just were drinking today. That's just the way they get. No, they hurt you. It's called abuse. It's called violence. It's called assault. You could say that's just the way they get, but that doesn't change the fact it was abuse, violence, assault, all that stuff that happened. So the thing is, we get to call anything whatever we want. Right. I'm not trying to say what love is or what it's not. I'm asking people, what does it mean to you? And you said what it means to you, Kim. You also asked me what it means to me. And again, it's not important what it means to me. It's important what it means to you. My question is, what is this important to you? Freedom, appreciation, communication, trust, sincerity. And if that is important, then you can have that with people who you have the butterflies and the wasps' nest with. And you can have that with people who you just are your children, people you're related to, people you work with, people who you don't have any romantic or sexual feelings for, and people that you do. And my work is centered around how to build that connection, meaning how to build that trust, that communication, that healing toxic relationships.com. All right, I'm going to leave it at that.
There you go. Right there at the bottom of the screen if you don't know. Hey, Kim, any last words before we get out of here, sweetheart?
No, fabulous show as always. As always. I look forward to next week.
Yes, and we'll send you the link early on so you can jump in there early if you want.
Even if you're in the kitchen cooking.
And even if you're over there threatening people to save their relationships, whatever you're doing, we'll put the link on.
You're going to have everybody leave the kitchen, Kim. You got to stop telling them stuff. All right.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, anything, brother, when we get out of here.
That's it. HealingTalksRelationships.com.
Yes, indeed. Hey, man, this was a great show as always, Naeem. Thanks again. This is Feel Good Talk Love 101. I'm Charles Brakely, my man Naeem Najib, and we got Kim, K for Toys, in the building.
We'll
see you next week, same time, right here on Feel Good Talk Love 101. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. We out of here. God bless you. Good